I'm glad you're here. This is the latest episode of Off the Plantation, the journey towards freedom. Today's episode is going to be really illuminating. It's going to help you to fully understand what we've been talking about as it relates to the primary archetypes, if you will, that are governing, ruling the actions and intentions of Americans and especially of the American political landscape. So, in this particular episode, I'm going to ask you to do me one favor. Well, a couple favors. The one favor is that you please subscribe to the channel. The next favor is that you like and share and make sure that we get this word out. This is an opportunity for us to learn and grow together, for us to fully comprehend what's happening to us and what's happening around us, so we can begin to take actions to take care of ourselves and our family and our community. So, what this whole channel was based on is as Malcolm X's, illumination. Really, he was really quite profound when he took a look at life on the antebellum South during slavery, and he took a look at the various roles that were present on every plantation. He said basically the roles were you had your overlords, your masters of the plantation, which are the ones who actually lay down the law for what happens on their plantation. Then you had your house Negroes, the ones that actually worked hand in hand with the overlords. They had all kinds of special privileges. They were compensated in all kinds of special ways. But their job was to make sure that they keep every other slave on the plantation, that they do not allow the field slaves, the ones who want to be free, want to think freely, that they do not allow them to escape. And then you had your field slaves. You had your field Negroes, the ones that were actually doing the hard work, but those are the ones that were more incentivized to actually try to escape. Actually, the motivations of the field Negro is one that was based upon that field Negro's understanding of his standing with God. He says, look, I'm a human just like you are. Why do I have to be subjugated to you? I should be able to be free. I should be able to leave this place and actually, experience freedom like every other human being should be able to. So that innate capability of their God-given rights was there, and that's what drove people like Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Frederick Douglass, and so many others to actually escape and be free. So the interesting part of this, though, is specifically as it relates to the house Negro. The house Negro could have been, could have had some roots, faith roots. It could have been ministers, could have been, people of that believed in God, but they were completely subjugated and completely sold out to the dictates of the overlord. They worked hand in hand with the overlord, even when the overlord was cruel and just unreasonable to the other slaves. They actually applauded. They stood by. They actually encouraged that kind of behavior from the overlord to make sure that they keep everybody under control. So the house Negro was a particular type of an individual who, while that person would say, yeah, I believe in God, I have faith, they would actually subordinate that in order to go along and get along with the dictates, the brutal dictates of the overlord of the plantation. So we have a situation here that we could see it in real time. We actually saw a situation quite recently. Miss Harris actually was giving a speech somewhere. I forgot where exactly. And it was all, collectivist group. Everybody was there, was rah rah cheering. And it was a wonderful display of what groupthink and collectivist thinking looks like. But then you had two individuals, two young men, who stood up and they said, wait a minute, she's talking about things that go against my faith foundations. It just so happens that Ms. Harris was speaking about the condition of, let's say, preborn, and the ability for those to be deleted. You know what I mean? I can't, for the purpose of this platform, let's just keep it like that. And she was really touting that this is, fundamental and how it's going to help women and this and that. So these two individuals stood up and said, Jesus is Lord, and Christ is King. And Ms. Harris didn't miss a beat. She says, look, you're in the wrong rally. Get up out of here. Get up out of here with that. This is for us collectivists, groupthink, marching to the same beat, goose stepping to the same melody. This is for us, not for you. You belong in the free thinking, one down the street. But don't come up in here and say that. And so they got kicked out. Actually, they were assaulted by a couple of old women who pushed them and shoved them and hurry up out of here. This is really glaring, because now you could see how if you step out of the dictates of the overlords, how you're attacked, you're castigated, called all kinds of names, you're assaulted. Fear and aggression is a big motivator to keep a lot of people on the plantation. They don't want to have to deal with being, outed and really isolated from other people who may be in the room. But these two young individuals, I think they exerted the pathology of the field Negro, wanting to just be free. I don't want on this channel for me to always come up with where I think these pathologies show up, where they exist, and then say this person is actually that and that person is actually that. I actually want that to be your job. I want you to take a look at this situation. Again, House Negroes are motivated, those that are into the pathology of the House Negroes, those that are under that syndrome, are motivated to make sure that everybody experiences the same level of groupthink, the same level of understanding as to where we're going. The field Negro, again, those that are in that pathology, are motivated to just lead. Look, don't put any artificial structures on me. Don't think that I'm part of the monolith or a group or collectivist action. That's not me. I just want to be free. I may participate, I may not, but that's my choice. So I want you to think that through, because we have this real life, this current situation, and it's profound. And it really shows glaringly that even your faith foundations need to be subordinated to the collective good. Needs to be subordinated when the dictates of the overlord says, look, we need everybody on the same page about this particular issue, or about our platform. We can't have any dissenting points of view. Everybody has to be on board. Then this is what you get. So I'm going to ask you, the people in the room, were they House Negroes or field Negroes? And generally, the pathology, were they experiencing the pathology of one or the other? Those two young men, were they under the pathology and syndrome of the field Negro or the House Negro? I'm going to let you decide. Please understand, the overlord is always insulated from these kinds of intricacies. So yeah, the overlords are around, but they're sort of the invisible hand. They're the ones that actually say, look, make sure you take care of this. Make sure you get any dissenting voices out of the room. So I can't point to an overlord in this situation, but I can point to these two syndromes at work. What do you think? Give me a comment below. Again, subscribe, like, share. And let's continue to work this thing together. There's a lot of examples that we'll be going through. And I look forward to seeing you next time. God bless.